Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast, where motivation is a must and accountability is an expectation. Real men, real experiences, and real talk. The mission is clear: to become better versions of ourselves. Let's go!
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Man Cave. It's your boy Jay.
And I'm your boy Mike. And we back with another good episode today. Today's episode is about self-care, man.
Self-care.
And we're going to get right into it. Self-care is a big topic. And, with everyone going through COVID and experience certain things going on, mental health is a big aspect. And it's really time that we focus in on how we care for ourselves and how we care for each other. So we're going to hit on that topic.
But first, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.
Leave those notifications at the bottom. We love to hear from you guys. So, yeah, let's get right into it, Jay.
Yeah, so self-care, man, like, as far as I go, man, it's all about keeping myself up to par. Hygiene, that's one thing, I feel like in order for me to remain at my peak or whatnot, and these are basic steps, because one thing is you never know who you're gonna run into in life. You never know when you're gonna run into somebody. You never know how it's gonna happen. So my thing is always be ready. Always be ready. And so what I do is maintenance, right? So I always got to keep my hair cut. Grooming is one major important thing. You know what I'm saying? I got the waves, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But even if you don't have waves, if you bald, whatever it is, if you have a fro or whatever the case may be, keep it together in between times before, before you go and get the haircut or whatever, make sure you good, line up, keep it all together. It's going to help you out in the long run. Trust me.
Yeah, and I'm going to piggyback on that. I'm a guy that loves to make sure he is up to par, like you said, and it's all about self-maintenance, to talk about that. So making sure that you line up straight, making sure that if you have a beard or any type of facial hair, it's on point, because you never know who you'll run into, like Jay said. And just it all sums it up. You look good, you feel good.
Yes.
You look good, you feel good, and that's one of the most important aspects to it. Ladies, if you feel like put makeup on, put the makeup on. Do your hair. Don't just go to the grocery store in a bonnet.
Boom.
Don't
do
it. You never know. You might walk past your potential husband or
there
your
we
potential
go.
employer,
yes,
or something like that. So you always want to be presentable.
Yes.
And side note, ladies, you really don't have to wear makeup. I'm just throwing it out there.
Just
what I'm saying?
It out there.
Throwing it out there. Natural beauty is still in. But that's another topic for another day. But self-care. You look good, you feel good.
Yeah. And one more other thing I want to say is your first impression is everything.
Yeah.
So always try to stay up to par. One thing I want to talk about though, another thing is how you smell. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, you take a shower, that's a good thing. But fellas, you gotta go to the store, go to the mall, go get you some cologne. You know what I'm saying? Start your little collection off. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing is, smelling good is everything.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, because look, we grown. We gotta have those grown sense. One thing about it is if you grown and you still spraying yourself with X body spray and you still washing up with X and all this, listen, cut it. That was like 6th grade. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is not gonna attract the person that you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So if we're talking about attracting who we're looking for, this, that, and the third, you have to make sure that you're up to par in every aspect on the exterior. Okay?
Yeah, I like that. So, this goes back to when I was in like elementary school. My dad used to keep cologne on his dresser.
Oh yeah.
He would go to work before I would leave the school, and as soon as I knew he was out of the bedroom,
he gone.
My dad's favorite scent back in the day was Cool Water.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I was wearing that through elementary to middle school and on. So that's where I learned and developed my love for like colognes and smelling good and things like that. So even when I go to the gym, I make sure that I spray myself with some cologne.
Oh,
you know? And what Jay is saying is true, right? So you want to kind of upgrade with, you know, as an adult, but you know, if you can't afford it, it's nothing wrong with something like some Axe or some what is it, some Old Spice or something like that.
It's nothing wrong with it, but
just make sure that you're smelling good, right? You know, you want to be impressive wherever you go, whether it's a date, grocery shopping, or work and things like that. Make sure that you smell good and smell presentable.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly. Another thing of self-care that, you know, we love to do is travel. You know what I'm saying? So that's more of it's a mental self-care. It's a full body experience. You know what I'm saying? We like to get out of town and travel, you know what I'm saying, just to release tension of just like working in the everyday life type situation. So even if you can't travel, man, just try to do something different and go somewhere that you really never been at before, and just probably spend a couple days there and just try to keep your mind off of like the basic daily issues that's going on in your life. I'm gonna tell you this, it'll make your life a little better. It'll make it a little bit better.
Yeah, travel is a big one. And everyone's going to say, well, what if I can't afford it? Well, if you can't afford to travel outside of the state, outside of the country, you can always start by just taking a road trip, right? That's the basics. That was the basics of travel. So you don't have to travel to California, but you can travel up north, or you can travel to a different, a faraway city or something like that, or Ohio, you know, things like that, close nearby cities, Ohio, Chicago, New York, just to get away for a weekend, just to, you know, recharge, you know, reload, and step away from your everyday life. You know, it's always good to do something and step outside of the box. Even when the weather breaks, you could go out and take walks, you know, go to the beach, sit on the, you know, sit in the sand. You just need a change of scenery.
Do something different. Do something different. You know, we grew up in the hood, and people that's in the hood, they do the same repetitive stuff. You know what I'm saying? They sit on the block, they drink or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's the same stuff, different day. You know what I'm saying? Literally. So it's like, hey, how can I change how my insides are? You know what I'm saying? How do I change my mental? Well, you literally have to change the scenery. You literally have to change that. You know what I'm saying? In order to better yourself, you have to change that.
Scenery and surroundings. And that can mean people, you know. So just getting out will do you some good. So make sure you do that.
That's a good thing about self-care. Like, you have to care for yourself enough to change the people around you. That's deep.
That's deep.
That's deep. Because some people, they're not willing to make that change. They're not willing to actually go that extra mile and be like, you know what, this is self-care. I love myself to the point to where I love you, but I got to cut you off.
I love you, but I love myself more.
Exactly. I got to cut you off because you're not doing anything but keeping me in the same place as I was before, and there's no growth happening in my life. Right. You know what I'm saying? So,
and unfortunately, you're going to go through that. You know, it's going to be some battles. You're going to lose friends, family, co-workers. You're going to lose that type of thing, that normalcy, which you think is normal, but it's not. You know, especially if you want to better yourself. And like we said, the topic is self-care. So if you're looking to take care of yourself, right, and add longevity onto your life and your mental, sometimes you got to break away from that repetitive nature.
Yeah,
you know? So.
Exactly. And one thing I would say is everybody has the nature of doing things repetitively. You know, we drive to work at the same time. We take the same route. We do this, we do that. But one thing about it is, if it's making a change in your life, if it's making an actual difference in your life, I understand that. But when you find out that you've reached a point to where, hey, this is no longer useful, this is not satisfying me and my end goal, you know, you have to make that change. So if you're not willing to make that change, you have to evaluate your action. You have to evaluate yourself, period. You know what I'm saying? Ask yourself, like, what do you really want out of life? Do you really love yourself? You know, a lot of people, they love, but they don't love themselves.
Right.
So this is the self-care area right here. We taking care of self today, you know?
So adding on to self care, another big thing that we do is we take care of our bodies and ourselves physically, right? So working out, eating right, are huge aspects of our lives.
Right.
You know, Jay on his weight loss journey and, you know, staying in shape, and, you know, the gym is a way of life for me.
Yeah.
It feels right.
Hold on. So, but I have an addiction.
Yeah.
I'm addicted.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I guess this is the time to let the world know.
Yeah, go ahead. You know, in front of everybody.
So, like,
it's all right.
World, I have an addiction.
Take your time.
I am addicted to something, and the thing is this, right? I never thought that I would have an addiction like this in my life.
Take your time.
I never thought that. But I'm addicted to the gym. I'm addicted to the gym. And I'm happy about it. I'm actually happy that I'm addicted to the gym, because throughout this journey or whatever, it was like I was forcing myself to go work out. I was forcing myself to do this. I was forcing myself to do that. So now that I've kind of transitioned over or whatever, 2 days without me working out, my body would tell me, like, listen, this don't feel right, bro. We got to hit the gym. We got to be active. We got to do this. We got to do that.
Right.
So I literally changed my habits. I created new ones, and now I got a new positive addiction, and I love it.
I'm glad that you shared that with us, because now I can let that 1,000 pounds off my shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to the gym too.
Man.
I'm addicted to the gym too.
Woo.
Okay? Monday through Sunday, I'm there.
I'm addicted. I ain't that addicted yet. I ain't that addicted yet. You know what I'm saying?
And if I'm not there, I feel bad, right? So you now we're not saying to take it to our extremes, right? But at least 3 days a week, you want to try to do some type of exercise, and whether it's at home, whether it's during a Zoom call, whether you get a membership at Planet Fitness, LA Fitness, or Lifetime Fitness.
Any fitness.
You know, anytime fitness.
Yeah.
Anytime fitness, right? So you want to try to work out all the time, eat well. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sitting here saying that I eat perfectly every day. I
just ate Chipotle like 28 minutes ago.
But the thing is, moderation. Everything in moderation.
Exactly.
You know, so you know that old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, is very true, right? So when your body's laying dormant and you don't use certain muscles and certain ligaments, those things rest. And that when things rest, you see what happens to things when we rest, right? They deteriorate, right? So you want to continue to use your body the way it's supposed to be used. Now, you don't have to be extreme like us, and you can slowly.
Not extreme like you. I'm addicted, but I'm not all the way there yet.
Okay, so you don't have to be extreme like me, right? But slowly you need to form out some type of pattern, some type of ritual that will get you exercising, right? So you don't have to be the biggest, the strongest person in the world, but you want to make sure that you're continue to take care of yourself and to take care of your body.
That's a good one. That's a good subject for next time. Forming good habits. How to form good habits. You know what I'm saying? So I think that ultimately starts with structure and a plan.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
that's the keys to having good habits. Structure and plan.
Yeah, structure and plan, and actually like following through with what you say you're gonna do. Cause
execution.
The one thing is we are our worst enemy. We say, next week I'm gonna do this. Next week next thing you know, it's 28 years later.
Next week,
you're 72.
It's nothing worse than a next week person or a tomorrow person. I'll do that tomorrow.
And you still on that same couch.
So Jay, what's the other ways you demonstrate self-care, man?
Man, listen, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. You know, so one thing that I do, obviously, you see the background studio. So one way that I, attend to my self-care is I get in the studio and I make beats. I do things like this to actually escape reality. And it's not necessarily like me trying to leave reality in general, but it's just like, hey, this is my space to where I can just like zone out and actually just do me and not have a care in the world or whatnot. Another thing I want to bring up is, and I know a lot of people, they don't advise it or whatever, but I learned this from a young age or whatnot, and I learned this from my pops or whatnot. My pops, he always had a motorcycle when I was a kid. He always had a motorcycle. Now, I know that you can't, you know what I'm saying, talk about that, but I'm going to talk about that. And riding on a motorcycle, man, being safe, though. Being safe on your motorcycle, that's number one. But, like, whenever I got on my motorcycle or whatnot, man, I don't have one care in the world. You know what I'm saying? Cell phone not ringing, nothing. It's just like me in the world, just on an open road, man. So those are like two things that's like really important to me, to where I could just like zone out and just, you know what I'm saying, just get away from all of these elements in life that's kind of bringing me down. Hey, Mike, what are some ways that you demonstrate self-care?
So that's a good question. If I had to pick two,
Right.
number one would be, of course, just basketball, right? So stepping in those four lines on that court, I get to forget anything and everything that I'm going through for however long I'm going through it on that court. It's great competition with my friends and I, my teammates, and that great camaraderie that we display on the court is what I live for. I've always been in sports since I was a little kid, and that's what I love. It's a chance, like you said, not to escape the world completely, but just for that little bit of time, you have no worries, And my second thing I would say is I like to draw. I picked up drawing probably when I was like 6 or 7. My uncle taught me how to draw. So, and ever since then, I've been drawing, and it's just a nice way that I can get away. It's just myself, a pencil and some paper or a pad, and or painting, things like that, just in that art realm that I like to do to just distance myself from the world. And what it does is it massages my mental, calms me down. Basketball too, it calms me down. And even though these things you're doing them physically, mentally it helps me out. It relaxes me. So those are the two things I like to do.
So lastly, y'all, I'm gonna say this: keep God first, because at the end of the day, going through all this self-care, mental health, all of this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, you always got to keep God first. I always do that, and I want to inspire y'all to do the same.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say to that. Keep God first in everything you do, first and foremost.
Yeah.
But just especially on these topics we're talking about, and the self-care, you can't have self-care without God, right? So He's the reason you're here. So continue to thank Him every day, and you can walk through your life knowing that you have somebody in your corner, right? So remember to always keep God first, and I think that's it.
Well, listen, if you don't have nobody to call on, you can call on us. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Leave those notifications at the bottom, because like we said, we're waiting to hear from you guys, and we'll continue to push out this type of content.
Yes, and with that being said, y'all, this is the Man Cave.
Yeah, I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
We'll see you next time. Peace.